Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about Knitting Magazine issue 270. I'm going to show you what my design for this issue looks like, what else is in this issue, and take a close look about what my design looked like on my dress form before I sent it off, and talk a little bit about construction method and that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoy today's video. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through our website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to check the notes below this video. There are some notes there about upcoming workshops, how to sign up to my newsletter, some reduced yarn. I have some reduced yarn in my online shop at the moment. Shopple, all the Shopple yarns, all the models are Uruguay yarns, so do go and check that out. Everything's linked below. If you're watching this in the future, make sure you sign up to my newsletter so you're notified. You can now book for the workshops at the Knit and Stitch Show at Alexadra Palace in October, and I will be teaching for 2 days, I think it is, teaching 4 workshops, so do go and check that out as well. Everything will be linked below this video. And do make sure you sign up to my newsletter, especially if you're watching this in the future and all these things I've linked are old, because you will find out about what I'm up to. So issue 270 of Knitting Magazine. Let's go to the video I filmed before I sent the sample off to the magazine and take a look at what it looks like on my dress form, and then we'll come back and look at the pictures in the magazine and what else is in this issue. Let's take a look at this sample next to me. It's knitted in Stylecraft Cotton Twist. I haven't actually knitted with this yarn, and normally I will at least knit a swatch. Well, my sample knitters knitted this piece, and I'm very grateful to her for doing it. Normally I will knit a swatch, and then I will send the yarn off to my sample knitter to knit a sample if I don't have time to do it myself. But this time, because of time and the fact that I was going away, the yarn actually got sent directly to my sample knitter, and she knitted the swatch. So I haven't knitted with this yarn, but it is Stylecraft Cotton Twist. It is 50% acrylic and 50% cotton. It has 210 meters per 100 grams. It is a fairly thick cotton acrylic blend. It is quite thick. It's a DK yarn, but it's like a thick DK. It is worked from the bottom up. So you start at the bottom, it's knitted in the round, so there's no side seams. So you cast on for the whole body in the round. It's got a few rows of garter stitch at the bottom. I really like garter stitch edgings. And then once you start knitting the body, it has a band of lace on the side here. So on both the front and the back, there is a bit of a lace, and the lace is on the same side. So the lace meets at the shoulder, and then the rest is stocking stitch. So every other round is just a knit round. Every other round, there's a bit of lace at the beginning of the front and the end of the back. And then there's a band of stocking stitch on the side between here. So they meet at the shoulders, but at this side here, there's stocking stitch. Once you get to the underarms, you split for front and back, so it works separately to the shoulders. So you shape the armholes here and knit up to the top. When you get to the shoulder, you join the shoulders working a 3-needle cast off. So you work the front and back separately from the underarms to the shoulder, join the shoulders by working a 3-needle cast off, and then pick up stitches for the sleeves and work short row sleeve cap to add a bit of shape into the sleeves, and then the sleeves are just working around from the top down, and the sleeves are in stocking stitch. So it's a fairly easy garment. If you're new to that kind of construction, it is one of my favorite garment constructions, which I use a lot. Knitting short row sleeves from the top down as a way of knitting satin sleeves is a lot easier, I think, than knitting them from the bottom up and shaping them and get that kind of bell shape sleeve cap. It's certainly a lot easier as the designer to do the maths for it, to calculate all the maths for it. And I think it's easier to knit it. Once you get the hang of the short rows, it's quite easy. I use German short rows. You can substitute whatever short rows you want. You basically start the shoulder, pick up stitches going down to the underarm, back up to the shoulder, and then you work back and forth. Each row gets a little bit longer So you get down to the underarm and then you just joint working the round. It may be a bit intimidating if you aren't used to it, but once you've done it once or twice, it's quite easy. You can always practice a bit first if you want to, but German short rows are fairly easy to do, in my opinion. I think I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel for short rows, German short rows. I'll have a look. If I have, I'll link them below and at the end of this video. It won't be how to do the short row shaping, but it'll just be how to do German short rows. I may have a tutorial on doing the short row shaping as well, but I can't remember whether that's German short rows or whether I used wrap and turn short rows, because it's an old tutorial, I think. If I can find it, I'll link it below. But fairly simple sweater, knitted in a cotton acrylic yarn. It's an affordable yarn, being Stylecraft. As I said, I haven't knitted with it, so I can't tell you how pleasant or not it is to knit with. Some people have strong opinions about cotton, some people like cotton, some people don't. Cotton can be a little bit harder on your hands just because it has less elasticity in it than wool yarns do. So it depends a bit on what you're used to knitting with, but it is an affordable yarn, which is good in this current financial climate. So let's go back and have a look at the magazine. So let's look at the pictures on my design first, and then we'll look at what else is in here. So that is the modelled picture. Looks very nice. I like the model. I like the way it looks. So let's have a look at what else is in this issue. So the cover is a pretty chair with a bunch of knitwear heaped on it. So I guess it's most of the designs in this issue. So let's have a look to see what's in this issue. Like the page at the front where it gives you a picture of some of the designs and all the features and all that kind of stuff. If you want to just have a quick look at what's in the magazine, that's a really good place to look. Then there's news. Simon, who's a veteran knitter on Instagram, he was in Game of Wool last year and he set a world record for knitting. Hang on. Simon Fannin, Game of Wool star, has stitched his way to a Guinness World Record after knitting a 5.59 metre long scarf while running the London Marathon. It's pretty good. So he was running and knitting. I struggle to knit and walk, so there's no way I would run in it. I also couldn't run a marathon. I certainly wouldn't attempt to knit and run. Then there's a few other features about various things, and then there is I love knitting with the various things knitting related and non-knitting related stuff. Some book sets, notebooks, bento box, gift wraps, a variety of different things. Then there's an article called A Mammoth Task. James Brereton takes on the challenge of creating species-specific animal knitting patterns. So he's basically created a chart for a mammoth, and there's I don't know whether the mammoth is on a sweater or a cushion or bag or what it is. I'm looking forward to sitting down and reading that later. And then there is a Cultures of Knitting article. This article is about knitting in Nigeria. Reports on the poll about crafting, identity, community and joy in contemporary Nigeria. So I'm looking forward to reading that because I don't know much about Nigeria because I've just been to Norway. I haven't had time to read all these articles yet. And then there is an article about a yarn shop called Bugweed Crafting Emporium on the outskirts of York. Oh, I've not been there. I will have to remember next time we're in Yorkshire, if we're going to New York, to pop in. Looks like they do loads of fabric, loads of yarn, various things. Quite a big feature for them. It does look very nice. Spinning wheel even. So yeah, if we happen to be near York, I'm going to Yorkshire twice this year for workshops. So if we happen to be in New York, might try and pop in. Then there is a article on Rebecca Osborne. It's an interview with Rebecca Osborne. She has released a book of poems and knitting patterns that aptly explores the experience of migraines. She tells fellow sufferer knitting editor Christine Boggis about it. I don't get migraines. I'm so pleased. My youngest daughter had debilitating migraines one summer holidays when she was at university. She's basically on the sofa the whole summer holidays. It was really worrying. But she's a lot better and she can control them a lot better now. But yeah, that's interesting to read. But I really feel for people who suffer from migraines. I'm lucky I don't. It's really nice colour work patterns here. I'm very lucky I don't. It sounds awful. I used to get a lot of tension headaches and I still do. They're not as bad as they used to be, but that's bad enough. So migraines, I can't imagine how awful that is. Then there's a yarn review page where they review different yarns, and then we get to the patterns. Our collection in this edition is inspired by the flowers and florals of summer, so we're all sent a mood board about all things floral. That was inspiration for this month's issue. So this pattern is King Cole. It's in King Cole Mulberry Soft DK. Don't think I've used that before. By Jacinta Bowie. Classic cable cardigan adorned with colourful embroidered flowers. This cardigan is knitted in pieces from the bottom up and features 3/4 length balloon sleeves. I've been too scared to try embroidery on knitting. But that is gorgeous. I'm not very good at embroidery. I've done cross stitch in the past, but embroidery is not my thing. And then two fabulous designs. A bit of intarsia, I'm assuming that is, and a shawl. So let me read you what it says. This relaxing and joyful knit celebrates summer with pretty flowers and contemporary on-trend colours. Intarsia is mixed with traditional flower motif in stranded colourwork from Selbu, Norway. With a slightly oversized fit, this sleeveless sweater is lightweight and flowing, perfect for summer. It is knitted in pieces from the bottom up with a ribbed neck and arm bands added at the end. So intarsia, to get the different squares of colours, then the colourwork is stranded. Because it's knitted flat, you do have to knit stranded colourwork on the pulse side, which I personally will not do because I don't like it. It doesn't work with the way I knit. And then the shawl is by Emma Vining. She does some beautiful shawls. And there is a sweater there by Brona Miskele. That looks very pretty. A shawl there, and then my design on the other page. So the shawl is by Brian Smith. Again, he does some beautiful shawls. My sweater, then there's another shawl by Francesca Hughes. And two other shawls there. That was really interesting. Who's that by? So the pink shawl is Brona Miskele, and the floral scarf is Lina Oftedal, who is Norwegian. So it looks like it's basically a scarf with flowers and leaves sewn onto it. There's some other designs which I'm not going to show because I don't want to show everything that's in here. A couple of bags and accessories, a men's vest and a little girl's top, and some flowers, and then all the patterns. So they show pictures of all the patterns, and then they've collected all the patterns together at the end, so that the patterns are separate from all the pictures and features and stuff. And then what else is in at the end of this? There is a masterclass I-cord cast on, and you can also download the magazine. So if you don't live in the UK, apparently you can download the magazine on pocketmags.com. So if you either don't want printed copies, or you can't download it because you don't live in the UK, you can't buy it, sorry, because you don't live in the UK, you can download it on pocketmags.com. So this is the picture for next issue, enchanting open work in sea-inspired shades, romantic lace. I do have a pattern in the next issue. Just had a look to see what I've contributed to the next issue, and it's actually the sweater I was knitting when I was in London in March. So I have a video of me knitting it. Anyway, it's not on this page, but I like those two designs that are shown in here. I like how they will model a sweater or a top with some kind of shawl or scarf, as in this case. Supplement is Summer Socks Workshops, Enchanted, and then the main feature is romantic lace, or loads of lace patterns next month, hopefully. And then there is a note from the studio with Erica Knight and Arabella Harris of the Night Craft Studio. They explore the whys and wherefores of their lives in crafts. Why do we knit? regular column on the at the back of Knitting Magazine every month. So that is Knitting Magazine in the shops now. It's been in the shops since Thursday last week, I think. Issue 270. If you can't get the printed issue, or you prefer digital issues because obviously storage is a problem, then check out Pocket Mags and see if you can get it on there. And if not, go and get it in the shops now. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.